Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to wave on and for that outstanding reference. Secretary Granholm, thank you for being here. Recently, the EPA has issued new PM rules that, and standards that are so close to the background levels in communities that even areas that meet the standards won't be able to permit new or expanded manufacturing, including manufacturing that is critical to building the clean environment and energy infrastructure that this administration is pursuing and pushing so hard. So as DOE implements programs to support new manufacturing, has it taken into consideration the new permit barriers that are created by EPA?
Well, as we give out grants, we don't take that into account. We take into account what the seeker of the funds is asking for and the kind of technology that they are.
How do you feel about
producing.
the PM 2.5 rule and the standards?
I support.
You support it, even though it's so close to the background that many places aren't going to be able to.
But there's a lot of technology to be able to address
Understood.
that.
Can I give you an example of that? The largest single economic development project in the history of the state of Georgia is taking place right now in my district. And that's the EV manufacturing plant, the Hyundai. $5.5 billion investment, 8,100 jobs, probably that many more jobs in ancillary businesses. We're excited and appreciative that it's going there. Do you realize that that project would not be permitted today if the PM 2.5 standards were in place?
I don't have the information on that.
Okay, well, I hope you will look at that because it is true. We could not get that project today, and I know you want that project, and I want that project. Look, I think there's going to be a market for EVs. I don't agree with a lot of things with the government picking winners and losers, but at the same time, I think they're making a wise decision. There's going to be a market for EVs, and I think they're going to be very successful. That's why I want them to build this plant. So I hope you will look at that because these are high-quality jobs, high-paying jobs.
I know they are.
They are. They are.
35 factories that have come to Georgia as a result
Absolutely,
of this.
but aren't you concerned, because you're obviously pushing this as much as anyone, aren't you concerned that there are going to be other projects that aren't going to get permitted?
It's my understanding that that is not, in fact, the case, but I will,
Well, please,
I'll go back and look at it.
And please let me know. All right, let me shift gears here, if I could. We've heard reports recently, and we're certainly alarmed, that the Biden administration has pressured Ukraine to halt strikes on Russian energy facilities out of concern that it will impact Russia's oil production capacity and lead to increased global oil prices. As I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you as the Secretary of the Department of Energy, it's your responsibility, or whoever might hold that position of Secretary, it's their responsibility to advise the President on matters relating to energy security and global energy markets. Did you advise the President on this?
This is not in my remit.
I'm sorry?
It's not in my remit.
It's not in your remit?
Right. It's not in my, that's the Department of State, it's not the Department of Energy that would.
So with an energy issue like this.
There's people in the White House who do that.
And you don't have any influence on this
Not on
at
that
all?
decision, not on that decision, no.
Well, can I ask you, do you believe that that disrupting Russia's energy facilities will drive up global oil prices?
I don't have an opinion on that.
Surely you do. You're Secretary of Energy. Surely the Secretary of Energy of the... Yeah. I find that hard to believe, but nevertheless, and it's... perhaps I need to be educated here as exactly what the responsibilities of the department... It's a cabinet post. I thought that you were an advisor to the President.
I am an advisor to the President on domestic energy issues, and there is a whole suite of people in the White House who advise both on energy issues and global energy issues, and there's a whole national security implication here as well.
So you're washing your hands of this. You're not going to take any...
It's not saying I'm washing my hands. I'm involved in the things that I'm involved in. I was not involved in
But you're not involved in this?
Not in that decision, no, sir.
Okay, fair enough. We'll move on then. Let's talk about LNG and about the quote-unquote pause, if you will, which I think is more of a ban.
It's not a ban.
It's not a ban. It's a pause?
It's not a ban. It's a pause.
Okay. Well, get that straight. I assume you were involved in that decision.
I was.
Good, good. I think it is the worst decision that possibly could have been made. I think economically and from a global emission standpoint, it was an awful decision. But nevertheless, I'm not the Secretary of Energy. You are. So There was a 2019 Department of Energy study that found that the life cycle of greenhouse gas emissions of U.S. LNG is more than 40% cleaner than Russia. Certainly, we should be taking that in consideration when we make decisions like this. Do you agree that U.S. LNG is cleaner than Russian natural gas?
I do.
You do. Do you believe that U.S. energy workers deserve credit for what they're doing to expand the supply of clean natural gas?
Absolutely.
And are you concerned the announced pause on new LNG permits could undercut the progress that Americans and our allies are making to reduce emissions?
No, it will not.
It will not,
It will not.
because
not-
they
it does
will
not-
be using Russian LNG that
No,
you
no.
just said is dirtier.
The pause is merely to the end of this year to conduct a study on what is in the national interest given the volumes. It does not affect current exports. It does not affect anything that has been authorized. We have authorized 48 billion cubic feet of exports. We're currently at 14 billion
Will it
capacity.
impact
It will not
any
impact anybody who's
exports in
receiving
the first of next year?
Will it impact what?
Will it impact exports the first of next year?
We are waiting to see what the results of the study is based on a number of things.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here, and thank you, Mr. Sherman, for allowing me to wave on to this very frustrating exchange. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back, and I'd like to thank